Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a bunch of updates to share about January 6 convicts. So first up is news about 34-year-old Virginia resident Casey Tryon Castro. In June of this year, she was convicted of 8 crimes related to the Capitol attack, and that included assaulting an officer. So she's been out on bond, even though, the right tries to say these are political prisoners. But yeah, she's been out free, walking around after assaulting an officer. And she is scheduled to be sentenced on November 12th. Well, the prosecutor recently asked the court to revoke her bond and to send her back to jail to await sentencing because she was just arrested again. The police arrested Tryon Castro on August 17th. This was at an outdoor music venue, and they say that she was trespassing and that she smelled like alcohol when the police were questioning her, and she refused to give them her name. Then she tried to run, and the police were, catching up with her. They finally caught her. They placed her in custody, and as they're putting her in custody, in cuffs, she tried to bite an officer's leg. So one of the arresting officers wrote in the report, quote, "Resident Tryon aggressively kicked me multiple times on the inside of my right knee, causing the outside of my knee to forcefully strike the wall each time." So she's been charged with now 2 counts of assaulting an officer and public intoxication for this separate case, and the assault charges are felonies. So by the way, the judge is Rudolph Contreras. He tends to be very weak. So instead of ordering her back to jail, he issued an order that she's not allowed to use alcohol while she's waiting for her sentencing. I am sure that that's totally going to happen, Judge Contreras. So I'll let you guys know when she screws up again. Anyway, next up is an update about 31-year-old Indiana resident Antony Vo. Vo was convicted by a jury in September of last year, 2023, and he repeatedly violated his pretrial release conditions. He also railed against the court online, so even though he was found guilty of only those basic 4 misdemeanors that I repeat ad nauseum that are used in most of these cases, U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan is presiding over his case. She is not a pushover, and so she sentenced Vo to 9 months in prison. So Vo was supposed to self-surrender at the beginning of this summer, and he was a no-show. So now the authorities say he's missing. He hasn't been seen for several weeks. Law enforcement says he might be in Canada. So I don't know what these people are thinking. It never works out for them. When they take off like this, they always get caught. Eventually they get caught, and then the punishment is far more severe. I know a bunch of them are thinking, oh, well, Trump's going to win, and then I'm going to be pardoned. First of all, no guarantee he's going to win. It's looking less and less likely every day. Second of all, he's not going to pardon you. So just get over it. You need to let it go. You need to let it go. And until they get caught, think about how they're living. They can't live a normal life. Not that I care, but anyway, I will let you know when I hear more on that case. Next up is news about 46-year-old California resident Benjamin Martin. So as with Tryon Castro, Martin was convicted by a jury, and this was in June of this year, 2024. He also can't seem to keep himself out of trouble because he was also arrested again, and he was just charged for illegal possession of weapons. Now, evidently, when the FBI searched Martin's home, they found 8 weapons, including an AR-15 style rifle, numerous high-capacity magazines. They said they found over 500 rounds of ammunition. So Martin will now be sentenced for both of these cases in November, on November 15th. My next update is about 46-year-old Pennsylvania resident Jeremy Vorous. Vorous' attorney thinks his client is mentally ill, so he petitioned the court to order a competency exam. The judge has agreed, and they told the defense, okay, you have to provide a report to us by September 26th, so very soon. Personally, I don't understand. I don't get why you need a psychologist, why you need a psychiatrist to figure this out. I mean, it's simple. You just ask them, do you still think the election was stolen? And do you still support Donald Trump? If they say yes, they're batshit crazy, right? So just pay me instead. I'll have it done 2 seconds. All right. Anyway, I'll let you know what happens with that. And I should mention earlier this year, the charges against him were increased. So he was initially charged with 5 counts. But in February, he was hit with a superseding indictment, and it charged him with many more, including more felonies. So he's now charged with civil disorder, obstructing an official proceeding, 2 counts of assaulting officers, one of which includes a dangerous weapon enhancement, entering a restricted building or grounds with a dangerous weapon, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, one of which included a dangerous weapon enhancement, 2 counts of physical violence, again, one of those includes a dangerous weapon enhancement, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol building. Now, I should say he's not charged with all of those at this point because the obstruction charge was voluntarily dismissed by the government because of that ridiculous Supreme Court ruling on that charge. But he is still facing decades in prison if he's found guilty. So as always, I will let you know how these cases shake out and if there's anything interesting to report in the interim. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.